Coach Brown, talk about big victory tonight.
Yep. So, one, excited about the win. Anytime you can open the season at home with a victory against anybody, that's a big win. And obviously, the magnitude of this game was big for our state, being the history that was made this weekend with all 4 in-state Division I programs playing in the same afternoon. Pretty unique deal. And I just want to first off say thank you to the crowd, the fans. I think UAPB traveled well also. The atmosphere tonight was exactly what you would expect a Division I atmosphere to look like in Conway, Arkansas. So we were just proud and happy to be able to do our part and come away with a win. A lot to learn from, a lot to get better at. The box score is relatively lopsided as far as the yardage goes, the totals, but we left a lot out there. And I think that's the part that, as a coach, may keep me up tonight. But I told our players, like great teams continue to improve, so we're going to have a lot of improvement going into next week. But also, UCA Bears celebrate wins, especially wins like that. That's a win to appreciate. It's hard to win Division I football games, and so to win one like that and win it in the manner we were able to win, especially pushing it out in the second half was a big deal. So there's a lot to learn from, but proud of our players and the way they played tonight.
Not really an ideal start for you guys. Fumble on the first drive, get the ball back.
Yeah.
Almost throw a pick six right after that.
Yep.
Can you kind of talk through those drives and also the response to that to only get down 7 and come out with 3 straight?
Well, if it was easy, everybody would be able to be a coach and a player, and I say that very, lighthearted, but at the same time, like stuff like that's going to happen. And unfortunately, on the first drive, we were marched it right down the field, had a couple third down conversions, really looked like we wanted to look. We had a good scripted drive going, and guy just put the helmet right on the ball on a quarterback run, and we can't do that. That's you're not going to win a championship turning the ball over in the red zone like that. So that was unfortunate. And then, the next drive, we get an unfortunate, tip pass, a deflection, and just kind of landed in a guy's lap. And I thought the effort Ty Durham did to get him down on the one was big because you want to play the next play, right? It'd been easy to quit on that play, but so really we kind of gave him 7 points right away on offense. And, I mean, our defense did a great job all night. I chalked that score up to the offense, and so. But I thought we did a good job on the sideline. You knew we were moving the ball and having success. It was just us shooting ourselves in the foot on those first couple drives, and we knew if we could protect the ball, we were going to be able to get in the end zone. And I thought the execution tonight was at a high level. The execution as far as going to the right places with the ball, making the right reads. Running backs did a great job, with our A gap, B gap, and C gap run game. I thought Luther made good decisions when to throw the ball and when to hand the ball in a lot of our RPO game and our scheme. But again, the thing that sticks out to you is the 3 turnovers, and that's not winning football offensively. And so we've got to improve upon that. Whatever we got to do this week in practice, we can't let that be a factor next week. And then on defense, we got to manufacture some turnovers. I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row we haven't got a turnover on defense. So they played their butts off. I mean, when you hold a team to 44 yards rushing, on the ground, and you rush for 318 yards, you should win those games. You should win them very lopsided, right? And so our defense played their tails off, but we got to find a way to manufacture getting the ball on the ground or getting some interceptions to help us get some short fields as well. So again, splitting hairs and looking at the big picture, but I think there's a lot we can improve upon.
Luther, kind of your perspective on those first 2 drives, but also kind of just first game in Conway. What was that like for you?
It was incredible. First game on the Stripes. The fans were incredible. Everybody showed out. And like Coach mentioned, from UAPB too, they showed out. They traveled good. So just the energy was incredible. As far as the turnovers, I've got to be better. I'm going to attack this week and be better. And ball security, especially in the red zones, at a premium. So I've got to be better at that.
It seemed like you kind of figured some stuff out there. That scoring drive at the end of the first quarter, and then the whole second quarter, I think you don't have 2 completions. Could you kind of feel yourself figuring it out a little bit?
I could, and it was really my teammates around me keeping me going, picking me up. it's real easy for a lot of teams to start pointing the finger when the quarterback turned this ball over twice on 2 promising drives, and they were nothing but words of encouragement. So knowing that my guys had my back, and then my play caller had my back, we just went out there and kept letting it rip.
Kind of talk about the offensive line. They had a couple iffy plays in maybe they're early, but it seemed like they really started kind of enforcing.
I mean, they asserted themselves, and we feel like we've got a talented offensive line. The identity of this offense, and hopefully our team, and this goes to the defense too, is that we're going to win the line of scrimmage, and there's got to be a physical nature to football, and football is a sport where the man across from you doesn't want to get moved, so you've got to make the decision to move that guy. And I thought our offensive line did a great job of that all night. Kept Luther clean, no sacks, rushed for 318 yards. I mean, nothing. There was multiple times within that game that I turned to that offensive line and I said, "Look, we're going to ride your back right here. You make me right." I made a bad play call. On the 4th down drive where we snuck it in on a quarterback sneak. We decided to go a jumbo package from the 4. You don't normally see that on a 3rd and goal from the 4. But I told him, I said, I'm riding y'all right here, and I believe in y'all. And so, guys like Will Diggins, Jamal Mole, Chalon Piney, Sanan Chappell, Walker Beatty. I mean, Landen Bridges. I mean, look, those guys. They're battle. They're warriors, and I think that they're gamers. And I'm excited to watch the film, to watch how good they played. There's going to be a million things that they can do better, but I was proud of them. We rushed for 160 yards basically against an SEC team last week, so we felt pretty good. But we wanted to see it translate to a like level opponent, and I thought it did tonight. And I'm telling you, the guy next to me on my left, just watch out. This guy's special. I've been talking about him since the spring, and you know that, Sam. I mean, Landen's special, and the dude. I mean, what do you average? 7.6 yards a carry. I mean, and they were hitting him, and he was bouncing off hits and all those things. So we've got to control the line of scrimmage to be the team we want to be on offense.
And just running behind those studs that he named, I mean, it can't get no better than that, especially the way we execute in practice and do it day in, day out. It's just time to go show what we do.
With Will quarterback, you guys really weren't doing much of the quarterback sneak. I mean, you see a lot of schools where you have a smaller quarterback like that. You don't really want to get him mixing the line, risking injury. But I mean, Luther's obviously considerably bigger than Will. I mean, you guys did that a few times. I guess call it a tush push, if you will. I think you got 4 yards on one of those. On the 3rd or 4th down, I mean.
Yeah, that was one of those deals where Coach Brown was going for it on his own 20. That was one of those times I said, "Y'all better make me right." and when we recruited Luther and I basically told him, this offense is going to tick with the element of the quarterback run. It just does. It helps us it's going to help us in our read game, our running game, our play action game. But he has to commit as a quarterback in this offense to getting the tough yards. And obviously he's got the body type to do that. I remember texting him during the FCS playoffs last year as we were recruiting him and said, "Man, look at the South Dakota State, North Dakota State. Like, that's what it looks like. If you don't have to be the fastest at quarterback. But you better be a tough SOB, and you better be able to go get third and shorts and stuff like that to keep the chains moving." And we just didn't have that element necessarily in our offense the last couple of years, and that's no knock on Will McElvain, an unbelievable player. He just wasn't that, right? So he is committed to that. I joked with him the other day in practice, man, if you need to get a rib protector, let's get a rib protector. It's a long season, and he's got to know when to go down and get out of bounds and all that good stuff. But I also want a tough dude back there that doesn't mind getting his nose bloodied, and I think he played that way tonight.
How does that kind of measure point to hurdle everybody?
I think there's a time and place. The one running towards our sideline, probably not the time or place, but our offense is built around tough guys. So I'm going to do whatever's called for me. I know LC's going to do the same, and we're just going to give it all for our team.
One of the, I guess you call it a low light, was that last touchdown.
Yeah.
Going for them. Can you kind of talk about? I'm sure you know side that broke down?
Well, we just didn't latch onto the receiver. We knew that going into the game that they were very good on scramble drill. Their quarterback kept plays alive. He's very special at that, very unique at that. We knew that on film. We knew that from his D2 film where he played before he got to UAPB. We just cut a guy loose. I mean, that's unfortunate. You know, we had a few reserves in there. You know, I don't want to call anybody out, but we did a pretty good job for most of the night of latching on to the quarterback trying to make some unscripted plays, and unfortunately on that play it just broke down for us. He did a good job of kind of just swinging to his right, keeping his throwing arm available, and I thought it was a great throw. I mean, the dude threw it kind of on the run about 50 yards. I mean, he let that thing loose. So hats off to him. He's a heck of a player. I didn't know how they would replace the kid that left them last year. He was a really special player too, but this kid seems like he's got some massive upside. So hats off to Coach Hampton and that team. I think they're going to win a lot of games in the SWAC conference. I think they've got more of his identity in year two. You can tell they work hard and they play with passion and energy and all those things. So, but we've got to do a good job on unscripted plays of not letting it break down. I mean, that's what got us, right? And there was a big third down play on one of their field goal drive, a 3rd and long, where it broke down on a scramble play too, and he kind of threw it over the middle deep and got probably a 38, 45-yard gain somewhere in there. So we've got to improve upon that. But that's something you can practice. That's something you can practice is those unscripted plays. We've got to do a better job of that. But hats off to Coach Williams and our defense. I mean, you held a opponent to 228 total yards and 44 rushing yards. I mean, they were ready. Our defense was ready, especially that first unit. I mean, our first unit gave up 3 points tonight because I put 7 on the offense and then I put 7 late on kind of a reserve situation. So proud of the way our defense performed tonight.
Go good. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate y'all.